Today is May 7th. The Yankees enjoyed an off day. So did you. We chat with Boone, look at the upcoming series against the Astros, and more on today's episode of Talkin' Yanks.
Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD producing away. Manager of the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone, will join us in a little bit. Yankees had the rare Monday non-traveling off day, which was nice, but I was bored. I watched other games around the league, and it was fun, but I didn't have the Yankees. Jake, how did you enjoy your Monday off day?
James Davis, yeah, it was all right. I mean, the Knicks playoff are rolling. Obviously, so are the blue shirts, and they're picking up some bandwagon fans. But yeah, watched a little Dodgers last night and had a moment of jealousy. They embarrassed a young Marlins pitcher, and then I just had this moment of like I don't know. Mookie, Freddie, Shohei is some like special stuff that I had like a jealous moment, whereas like Dodger fans watch this every night. I love the Yanks, but it's also, Shohei's generational. Everyone's generational from different parts of the world. Like Teoscar Hernandez came in and smoked a ball, and it was just like, oh, there's a guy.
Yeah, well, wait till Soto and Judge are the 1-2.
It'll be a good World Series. Whoa, and how about some Shady Rays? You guys know Shady Rays by now. Me and Jimmy have our own pairs flex, and they have a bunch of other sunglasses. And it's that time of year. I think it's going to hit 78 today. The sun will be shining. Cover your eyeballs with Shady Rays. They're an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300K people. Durable, and I'm going to comment more on that, because even though they are durable, if you do break them or lose them, Shady Rays will replace them with their lost or broken replacement guarantee. So, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code YANKS, 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized sunglasses, and that offer applies to the custom Jimmy and Jake collab shades. So go check those out. Go check everything they've got at shadyrays.com, code YANKS.
I think there's only 2 players with a 1 OPS right now, and that's Mookie and Shohei. So he's got a 360 batting average or something like that, 364.
I think Shohei's triple crowning right now. He's tied with RBIs with Ozuna.
Look what he can do when he takes pitching off his mind.
Yeah.
Huh?
Stop pitching, pal.
It only hurts your offense. They were right. You can't do both. So the Yankees just concluded 17 games in a row. One of those stretches where you're like, damn. Without a bench. We talked to Boone about that in the upcoming chat, but like they did it. Everyone had to play every game. I pulled up the numbers, Jake. How many players do you think played every game? Can you
played
name?
In every game?
Yeah. I think it's started. I think it's the same as started every game. I think the players that played in every game started every game.
I think one of them was a didn't start and got in.
Okay.
Because Juan Soto plays every game.
Yes.
Aaron Judge plays every game.
Correct.
And then I would say Volpe played every game.
Yes.
And then I would have Gleyber Torres as the played every game, but may have missed a start.
I think he missed.
I think game 2 of the stretch, he
didn't
sat to start, but came in for the 8th, 9th.
Yes.
And
then Oswaldo Cabrera.
Every game.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Played every game.
I guess I kind of gave him my award last episode on that because I don't know. I think about that in a 17-game stretch. We never looked at Oswaldo and was like, Oswaldo.
Yep.
I don't know, pal. Which, again, that's not the highest standard. I'd like to hold things to more of a Shohei Mookie Freddie standard. But
Rizzo and Stanton,
take that.
they got into 16 of the 17. Rizzo started 16. I don't think Stanton started 16. I think maybe 15. But you look at it, and we asked Boone about this last year, and he was like, well, you asked about like the Braves, and he was like, well, look at the ages of those players. So of the guys we just said, Soto's 25, Glaber's 27, Volpe's 23, Oswaldo's 25, Judge 32.
Yeah.
So he's up there. Which player do you think had the most hits during this stretch?
Player with the most hits. Let's see. Judge funky. Soto really good. Is it a weird one? Is it like
No.
Soto?
Soto.
Yeah.
The next one is Rizzo had the second most hits.
Rizzo was going to be my oddball guess.
And I don't
he
know.
had a couple heaters in there.
And the other thing that I just looked at, which was kind of interesting, is you can take Judge's game log, butter knife it till when he hit his first home run, which was the 7th game of the season.
Okay.
So I'm taking out the first 6 games. Season starts when Judge hits a homer. That's the old adage. And like some of the numbers are pretty good from that point on, the next 30 games, which is odd because it has felt like he never put it together.
Right.
But accumulatively, the batting average isn't great. It's 241, 379 on base, 500 slugging, 879 OPS. That was way higher than I thought. I was like, how far can we go back where the OPS and the numbers still look good? Kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, the Judge standard is
Higher.
just in a different world. I mean, his season OPS sits at 789, which, if that was Oswaldo, we'd be like, wait, is this guy an all-star? Is he a 10-year starter? I heard someone saying that. But, yeah, for Judgy, I mean, if we expect a 1 OPS from him, in theory, that's like 20% worse than we expect from our Aaron Judge. So the standard is the standard sometimes. But, yeah, and it looks like he's coming around. And we've seen Judge have funks.
Right now, the standard is lower across the board.
Right.
Which is crazy. Like, how many people have 900 OPS right now? Because the average is 695.
Right.
Below 700 is the average. It's the lowest I've seen that for a while.
And Judge, I don't know. He's leading in walks and leading in strikeouts. So
20 players have 900 or above.
seemed like he shook the strikeout bug a little bit the past couple years. And again, in theory, that doesn't matter too much, but been a little. We've seen Judge struggle kind of with that low and away slider, and
yeah, his numbers on sliders that's like the biggest culprit. But I'm just saying I was surprised that you could get to 380. Those 380, the on base slugging OPS is still good. It's not Judge's standard, but I thought it's been much worse, to be honest.
he's picked it up.
He's picked it up. In the 17th game stretch, Nestor and Clark made 4 starts each to decent ERAs. 308 for Nestor, 338 for Clark. Luis Heel made 3 starts, 265, and he's on the bump tonight. And Boone tells us who's catching him. Ooh, teaser. Stroman with the worst ERA. Wow, which reliever carried? Got to be
Clay.
Bananas.
wrong. Luke Weaver, 11.1 innings, 0 earned runs.
How many earned runs Clay give up?
0, but only pitched 7.1, so he didn't carry.
Leverage rating, bro.
Weaver was all over it. Santana, 8.1 innings. Bullpen's still so weird. I know the numbers are good, but so weird.
Yeah. I mean, Gonzo's been good over that stretch too, right?
4.2 innings pitched. The ERA is 3.86, so it looks like
It's only one day that I think is the day he slipped, right?
6 games. So, yeah, I'm guessing just one of those was bad and the other 5 were good.
Yeah, that ninth inning against Oakland where he did a little butt slip.
Just can't be doing that.
Only time he's given up runs since April 2nd. So, yeah, it's a funky team.
Funky team. Ferg got back out there after giving him the I understand what you're all about now talk, and then he didn't do it.
Right.
Didn't throw the cutters away or live low. It was like, what? I thought we found something. So that was a bummer. Anything else before we get to Booney?
Yankees leaders in leverage index over this period. Clay Holmes, number 1 on the team. I think number 10 in all of baseball. Luke Weaver last on the Yankees among guys who pitched 5 innings.
Ferg's got to be the most, right?
Clay Holmes is the most on the team.
Well, yeah, but then Ferguson.
Ian Hamilton edging him out right now. Ferguson third, Marinaccio fourth, Dennis Santana fifth, and a decent gap between each guy.
I disagree with that, but you gotta I agree with that going in. Hopefully, it changes.
Seems like we're due for a shift.
All right, Booney,
Aaron Boone, brought to you by the New York Yankees MasterCard credit card. How do you like that? Yankee fans, you're already getting Pinstripe news with us, and now you can earn Pinstripe rewards with the New York Yankees MasterCard credit card. Everyone who opens up a Yankees credit card can earn 2 free tickets when you spend $100 on the Yankee credit card within 30 days of account opening, up to $100 value. Plus, cardholders can earn Pinstripe rewards with every purchase you make. 5% back on purchases at Yankee Stadium and shops. 3% back on restaurants, bars, rideshare, mass transit. 1% back on all other purchases. And you can redeem Pinstripe rewards for other things, VIP experiences, Yankee tickets, memorabilia. If you're a Yankee fan, there's a chance this credit card's for you. For more information and to start earning rewards today, visit pinstriperewards.com. That's pinstriperewards.com. Restrictions apply.
welcome back to another Bantering with Boone. Booney, how was your off day between home games? That's pretty nice, right?
Off day for home is definitely nice. So yeah, it was good. Sunday day game, obviously a muddy day, a wet day, but got out and got to spend a night in the city with my wife. And it was her birthday yesterday, so we hung out for a while. And then I had a thing in the city with Yes Story Your Number thing last night, so at the Paley Center. So that was pretty cool.
What's going on with that? We got Gracie Cashman. We've all seen the commercial of you now, kind of doing some Winfield. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so actually we shot it last summer. It was really cool. I had no idea what to expect, and all of a sudden, as a game dad, I went up and did this interview, and Gracie was doing it. She's awesome at it, man. She was so good, such a good interviewer, and it's like a pretty cool concept. They just start diving into these numbers, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's on the Yes app, right?
I think they're doing it on Yes, and then it's going to live on the Yes app.
I think there's one on Yes Network coming up on the 9th, and then the Yes app will have a bunch too. So should be cool.
Was it better than my trivia questions that had wrong answers behind them?
I mean, you know what? It's fun like that. Like,
Yeah.
start throwing some numbers at you, and you get a little competitive with it. And it's fun. It gets you thinking.
Okay.
So it was kind of in that vein, like my trivia chops get going.
Okay.
I like that.
Cool.
Speaking of the Sunday muddy game, how did the decision to end that go? We were kind of just wondering in our heads, because if I was Hinch, I would have wanted to keep going and try to win. But do the managers have to agree? Like, when that comes to a conclusion, whose final decision is it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, in the end, we don't really have a say. They want us to weigh in and things like that. It was at that point, it was the bottom of the 8th, and it was bad for a few innings. There were a couple innings there. That the ground ball that was hit to short to Volpe. He's fielding it kind of in and around the puddle, and it's like, and then you're seeing guys being careful. Verdugo hit the line drive back that Chafin caught, and you got Soto and Judge out there, and they're reacting, kind of slipping around a little bit. So you start, and then Alan Porter, the crew chief, he's got to take into consideration guys' safety. You don't want somebody getting hurt on your watch because you're pushing through, but also you're trying to maintain the integrity of things. So I think in the end, when we were out on the field, I kind of got the sense that it was maybe going to be done, but it was also over our head too. It's like, you got to go through Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball wants to weigh in with the Yankees, wants to weigh in with the Tigers. So, that's kind of where it went. And then we got the call that it was done.
All right. Shout out to Danny Cunningham and his crew for battling for 3 hours straight.
serious shout out, man. Grounds crew people, especially in the Northeast and the Midwest, they get their money's worth all year long. So great job to, allow us to get as far as we did into the game.
Something else that happened in that series, your captain, Judge, gets ejected for the first time. Do you feel like you didn't get in between them in time? Like, did he come to you and say, Boone, how come you didn't protect me?
No. It was surprising. I mean, it was very much, on the occasions where Aaron says something and we'll argue, it was very much in line with that, where he just kind of has a little piece and he'll say it as he's walking away or walking to his position. And I've seen that movie a number of times, and to see him get ejected like that, I was like, whoa. So a little surprising. I don't think he should have got ejected. Like, come on, he's walking away. He's not in an aggressive stance or anything. Like, come on, man, let's go.
Do you, after the game, do you give him like a welcome to the club? Is Judge kind of like, is he a little bummed? Is there like a little, yeah?
I actually did welcome him to the club, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did get my game ball with a welcome to the club. So, when it comes in a win, you can have some fun with welcome to the club.
Is that the first player ejection of this season? Or am I blanking?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's the first one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Rousen.
Oh, yeah, Rousen got ejected too.
James got hot.
Wow.
Guys are getting thrown out all around me.
And when's Brad going to get ejected?
Nah.
No? Okay. You don't want to send him as like a mercenary ever?
Yeah, maybe at some point.
Okay.
Hey,
here we go, Jake.
I've got a dumb fan one for you, and I think you'll dance a little bit, but this Astros series, the Astros are struggling right now. Like, they are feeling baseball right now, and they've been the big bad wolf in the AL. Like, is there a little extra juice? Like, I know you're gonna say no, one day at a time, but these guys have been.
Hey, ask the question. Don't tell me what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Is there a little more juice going into this series? Because if you guys busted out the broomsticks this series, I mean, where they are at in the standings starts to get in a historical, like, you can't recover area.
All right. You're right here a little bit. Look, it's the Astros.
Right.
Let's start with that. And obviously we've been through a lot with them, and they've been a block in our path to getting to where we want to go a number of times. So, it's always, they always feel like big games or bigger games, even when they're in the regular season. That's the nature of it. But you have those series all the time, those benchmark series throughout the year, whether you're playing a division rival, whatever it may be. I mean, the reality is we're trying to play well. Like, it's Luis Hill tonight. So you really don't, I don't think, as players or as coaches, you get that caught up into it. You understand that there's going to be a little more juice, a little more energy in the building for a May series. But at the same time, you're just trying to stack wins and play well and, kind of get Louis off in a good situation tonight, and let's go.
Hey, I'll take benchmark series. Like, I'll take that because it is.
Yeah.
With Heel pitching and Verlander pitching, will Wellesley be behind the dish? Because I loved how Trevino worked with Heel last outing, and I don't like personal catchers that much, and especially getting stuck, especially with a rookie like Heel. But I just thought that there was a noticeable moment where Trevino really helped Heel get through his last start, and that was it the last inning or with runners on and a jam, and it was really like guiding him through. But it is Verlander, lefty Wells. So any thought there at all? Or is it platoon over pitcher?
Trevy's catching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anything that I said go into that? You saw what I saw?
I've definitely liked how he's worked with Louis here, but again, I feel that way about Austin too with our guys. I really do. I feel like he's been so good back there. This is more about actually Verlander being more of a neutral reverse split guy. Like, what's the best day? Probably have Wellesley play, the next 2 days when you have more of the traditional split righties. It's like, when's the best day to have the righty in? So you kind of look at them in tandem and look at the series, and that's kind of how I more treat it. Because the reality is, obviously Trevi's a platinum glover, but we've got so much confidence when Austin goes back behind the plate as well. So today it'll be Trevi, but likely Austin tomorrow. And I definitely did like how Trevi and Heel worked last time out, but I'm confident the next time I put Austin out there with Luis too.
Cool. Yeah, Trevi's been hitting righty breaking balls a lot too. So just have Verlander go to that slider. I like that.
Tell him. Hey, weird dumb one. 505 game. What's that about? We've been racking our brains over here. Is that like CBA getaway stuff? Is that just an oddball?
Yeah, I think it's a getaway day thing. So instead of getting into Tampa probably 2:33 in the morning, hopefully we get in there a little bit earlier. So I think it's in regards to the getaway.
When will the shadows affect that game? You see the 4:00 starts in the postseason. What game was that?
Yeah.
Nestor versus the Guardians. We were there, and it was just like, no one's gonna get a hit until those go away.
Yeah, although Thursday looks cloudy and drizzly and stuff. So
okay,
I'm kind of thinking maybe, hopefully, we just don't have to deal with rain and we're dealing with just cloudiness, so shadows aren't really a factor.
All right, I'm hoping that as well.
How much of a weather guy are you?
Well, I'm not like Mike Trout or anything, but
sure.
I look at the weather app every day.
Okay.
Do you use like a different app, or do you just use the generic weather app?
The generic.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll get online and then I'll get on my iPad and start searching hourlies and things like that. Especially when we're having bad weather. One of the cool things about living in the Northeast, you kind of look at that 7-day a little bit. You're like,
who's the weather guy in the clubhouse? Like, who do you go to when you want the real knowledge? They have like the app they pay for and shit like that.
Oh, well, when you really Hal Steinbrenner.
Whoa. I didn't expect that. You're hitting Hal up about just the weather?
Hal he's a pilot, so he's got like the pilot.
The radar.
Okay.
And he knows how to read all this stuff that's coming. So he knows he's always right on like, okay, we're in trouble tomorrow. No, this is better. So usually anytime there's weather issues with the league and stuff, like, Hal is one of the voices of reason that weighs in a lot on. Yeah.
Owner and senior weather advisor.
Yeah, he's usually right on point.
Wow, that's awesome. We saw a big trade happen going away from the Yankees into just Major League Baseball with Arraez going from the Marlins to the Padres. Did that catch you by surprise to have, 2-time batting title leader? Obviously, people thought he was going to get traded, but this soon?
Yeah, I think actually because we came in after our game that day, somebody on their phone like showed it to me, like, they're like, wow, look at this. So yeah, I think anytime you see a trade happen, that was May still. So yeah, May, kind of a, somewhat of a blockbuster there with obviously a significant piece going to San Diego and a little bit of the, Marlins starting to try and rebuild something. So yeah, I think that early always gets your attention anyway.
Do you bump like any of the front office people and ask about kind of the trade package itself? Because, we do Talkin baseball and it's like, well, it looks like they went with the group of prospects and, you're kind of hoping one or two of them pan out. Do you guys discuss that?
I haven't in this case, but yes, I will typically do that. Like when someone comes down from front office, like, and I want to get, hey, how'd they do? Who did better here? Like, I'll try and get them to kind of weigh in and give their opinion.
Okay.
So yeah, do that.
Do you scour the Marlins roster at all and see like anything we can use some help from? Like I do. That's what the fans do. Tanner Scott. Let's pick him up.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Okay.
Certainly not yet. Like, when things, there's a potential for something happening or, we get down the road on something, then usually, I'm brought in a little bit.
Well, you guys made your trade with Birdie right as the season started. He comes back. Immediately, Rizzo gets the off day, the double off day, works out there for him. And I think, any fan that is in the know and watching is like, yeah, that's warranted. Rizzo deserves a little double off day here. He's been playing every game with some flexibility. Now with Birdie and Oswaldo, is there anyone else you're eyeing that you're like, hey, let's give him a day? Volpe's played every game besides one. Glaber's played every game besides one. And you have some infield versatility now. So is there, as we go into like the next 2 weeks in series, any more of that?
Kind of getting through that 17-dayer was big. So, it's just kind of monitoring it now, like trying to stay on the same page with the trainers and strength and conditioning. Like as you look at the schedule and the layout, like, all right, who could use a day? Are we all good here? You try and stay on top of that stuff. And, it's nice having Birdie back who will, certainly be in the mix more now, from an infield standpoint, but, off day yesterday, off day again on Monday when we go to Minnesota from Tampa. So, that helps it a little bit, but it's glad we're able to get Riz one who, played every game. I got him out of the 2 blowouts in Milwaukee. I got him out late, but otherwise he's been in there every day, which is a great thing because, he's been healthy and durable and feeling good. Cause there were probably a couple other times where I considered it. But just, being that we're beat up a little roster wise with no Birdie, with no DJ, not having the greatest flexibility. I just kind of powered through a little bit, but mainly because he's been feeling so good and we want to keep it that way.
So for Oswaldo Birdie going forward, is it, because, Oswaldo slowed down a little bit, but you also have the lefty-righty thing there, but Oswaldo's also a righty sometimes. Like, for those two coming up, is it kind of the opposing starting pitcher and their pitch mix?
Yeah, and a little bit, like kind of have a lot of confidence in both guys. Like I'm starting Birdie tonight against Verlander, just because Verlander's been so dominant against lefties the last few years. He's fairly neutral, but, I feel like it's of the 3 days here. I feel like it's the good matchup to get him in today. But, it gives me a little more flexibility now around the infield, where Birdie can play everywhere. I got Jam, who I like more on the right side of the infield. And then obviously Oswaldo can play everywhere. So now all of a sudden you got that flexibility that even the outfield comes in play and mix. If you need to get a guy a day, you've got that extra coverage.
Verlander does have some splits this year, huh? How about that?
It's only been 3 games or so, I think.
Last several years, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Interested.
He's thrown his fastball a lot this season so far as he's like eases into it. I was looking at that versus righties and lefties, just fastball. And then versus lefties, the curveball. We saw Verdugo hit that curveball out in Milwaukee. So I'm just going to put that image of Verlander throwing a curveball and Verdugo catching it, similar to the Milwaukee home run he hit, which was a 2-strike curveball that he fucking crushed. So just if everyone could think about that collectively, I think it would help.
Hey, sign me up.
Okay.
Think about it.
Positive reinforcement, is that it? Or there's another one.
Power of positive thinking.
Sure.
Visualize an attack. Waterboy. Something like that. Depends who your therapist is.
Using the force, something.
Yeah. Hey, we haven't done any negative stuff. Came off a sweep of the Tigers, so that's good. And I guess this isn't super negative, but Stroman, we've seen him put, kind of zeros on the board through 4 or 5 innings, and then the walks have kind of popped up, which he talked about a little bit, and I'm not as tough on walks as we used to be. Like, a walk can be an okay thing instead of giving up anything bigger than that. But is there anything else there? Like, are you seeing anything third time through the numbers aren't looking so hot? Is it a fatigue thing? Is it just luck? What is it?
Yeah, so walks are like, obviously we don't want walks, but I think in the case that usually they're a case of somebody losing or not having great command or whatever. That's certainly not the case with Stroh. Like, and you watch Stroh pitch, like, because he's so precise and, going for corners and stuff like that and relying on movement and those things, some of his walks come on that, or some of his deeper counts come on, he's throwing the ball on purpose to set something up or, to generate weak contact. So it's not a control issue with him. Now, that being said, I thought his last time out when he ends up getting chased there and whatever, it was the 6th, where he walked a few guys in a row. I do think he lost his mechanics a little bit, kind of got out of whack there for whatever reason. So I think he lost it there for a minute. The one thing I liked through that is, like you said, he didn't give in though. A lot of times, the guy just throw it down the middle. Now all of a sudden we got traffic out there and boom, extra base hit, and it's a crooked number. Like, he wasn't about to give in. He was just going to trust his movement and location and being precise with where he wanted to be. He was just a little bit out of whack there for, a handful of hitters mechanically, but I don't necessarily think it was fatigue. I just think it was just one of those things. So, yeah, not too worried about it.
Okay.
We've seen Judge make his first career start in left field, and we've seen Oswaldo make his first career start at first base. He's played there before, but his first game started. Out of these 3, can you order them in likelihood of the next box to scratch off? Soto, first career start in center field. Wells, first career start at first base. Glaber, first career start at third base.
I don't see those happening.
But yeah, if you had to put them in order.
I'll go Wells. Soto, Glaber.
Okay.
Okay.
There wasn't that
But I
much
don't-
options.
Hey,
I
where'd
don't see
that
him
come
happen.
from, pal?
I thought
Yeah.
there was going to be more like likely options, but everyone
Yeah.
started everywhere. Last year, I think everyone started a new position every day for the Yankees last year. So like everyone scratched it
Hopefully,
up.
the only time I plan on moving Juan is when we go to Fenway. I might play him in left, just because Doogie's so familiar with that right field. I might flip those guys for that series. So that's something I've talked about with them. May do, but we'll see when that time comes.
Oswaldo, no hesitations. I know you've put him at first base, but this is his first time starting a game there. But I'm guessing, is that a conversation, a thought, or is it just, hey, this is what we're doing?
Yeah, no, no hesitation. I felt really good about the work he's done in spring training. He actually got a lot of work, a lot of reps over there where there's backfields. I got him in some games over there and really liked how he's looking. And then even, obviously through the start of the season where he's pretty much played every day, he's still gotten a decent amount of work over at first. And I liked how he looked the other day. He's just a really good defender and comfortable kind of, as you guys know, wherever we've put him. So I thought he looked good the other day and, gets more and more comfortable. But he got a decent amount of game reps even in spring training that I think was helpful just to get that experience. He's got obviously the physical attributes to go do it. But getting a little bit of experience this spring, I think was beneficial. And I think he's fairly comfortable moving over there now.
For one thing I wanted to talk about before we let you go, we saw the hit and run. I don't know if it was by design or just actually that's a good question. The birdie on first, Trevino hits it behind him. Is that Trevino hitting behind the runner, or is that a called for hit and run, or are you not going to say because the opponents are listening?
We'll never know.
Okay,
We'll never
so in my opinion, that means hit and run. Nice call. Congratulations on the success of that. You've done a lot of small ball moves. Verdugo bunts. He swings 2-0. They take the shift off, or they start shifting the third baseman. He bunts over in game 1 against the Tigers, was that? I forget. And then we have more. The Yankees have more bunts this year than last year already. Is this something that you went into spring training saying like, hey, I want to pull this lever more, or is this just personnel and happenstance?
Yeah, I mean, it's just personnel and game situation, and our guys having a willingness to do it in certain situations. You know, that was Doogie the other night reading the situation, and, you know, it's something we talked about even going back to spring training, like picking your spots to where, hey, they're giving it to you in certain situations, leading off an inning or tough lefty or that perfect example, man on first, no outs, down a run in the ninth. Man, that guy shifts off you. It's there. Take it. And, you know, his execution was perfect. But it's something that those things get into the scouting report. And people got to honor that, and it opens up the field for you. But in other situations, I think it's just a matter of we've been in some close games. The right guy's been at the plate to maybe where something is called for. But I don't think with this group we're going to be, you know, doing a whole, you know, just bunting away, you know. But I think some guys have done it at times even on their own, like where they've gone up there to be aggressive to do it. Like, man, I'm thinking in terms of a hit here, and then worst case, maybe I get him over too. So that's part of it too.
You're 8 for 8 so far. 3 sacrifice bunts successful, and then 5 for a single. So the Yankees currently have the best batting average on bunts in the league. Knocking on wood.
Okay. Let's go.
Wellesley has 2.
Yeah, Wellesley can do it too. He's good at it.
Slump buster.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I like it. O'Neill was very into when it was actually the Baltimore series. Paul O'Neill was on the call. Yep. Volpe was on first base. Soto was up. Volpe didn't steal. He actually didn't get that big of a lead. And O'Neill's breakdown of it was with the lefty up, you want to keep the first baseman close to first base to open up that hole. And it's, you know, I love watching the game and hearing something that like I know that obviously that's happenstance that happens, but never really thought of, oh, would Volpe have a closer leader, not steal, to leave that open for a lefty batter? And again, because all the opponents are listening, you don't have to answer, but is that something you keep in mind?
If the situation is there, we're going to try and take advantage. So, you know, a lot of things have to cooperate there. You know, you got to have a pitcher that's Baltimore does a really good job. They always have. You know, even going back to, you know, Brandon Hyde's first year in 19, you know, even when they weren't good yet, their pitching staff, they've really put a premium on having their guys be fairly quick to home plate and then having catchers that can throw. So it's typically a tough team to run on. We were able to get Burns a couple times. He's, you know, typically not that quick to home plate. So that's more matchup related. Like if we have, you know, the right pitcher on the mound, the right times, you know, that we're getting from him, and Volpe clicks it, then he's still going to go in that situation. But obviously with it being Juan Soto up, with it being lefty, you know, we're going to up our percentage there. We're not so much rolling the dice. You know, we're going to make sure, hey, this is a situation where we want to make sure we feel good about being safe. You know, we're not, you know, other situations where you're a little more aggressive and you kind of in your mind lower that percent of what you think your chance of being successful is.
Okay. I like it. I've been enjoying it.
My final thing, it's not really Yankees related. It's do you have New York sports fever right now? The Rangers are dominating. The Knicks kind of embarrass your Sixers. I'm sorry, but are you drinking the New York Kool-Aid right now?
I am definitely pulling for the Rangers and the Knicks. Absolutely. Like, let's go. Let's get on to the finals and let's get a couple championships going. Yes. Once my Sixers are out, I'm behind the Knicks. Love what they're doing. I mean, it is a easy team to get behind with, you know, the way they've played, and the grittiness of that team, the toughness of that team. So I'm definitely pulling for them.
Easy. Go
Awesome.
Knicks.
All right. Well, enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
See you, Boone. All right. There you have it.
Hey, thanks, Aaron Boone. Brought to you by DraftKings. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases full, down 3, crowd on their feet. The drama as baseball is real, and it's back with the DraftKings Sportsbook. They've got same-game parlays, odds boost, live betting. So go check out the DraftKings app. Download it now. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code YANKS, and new customers bet $5 and get 115 bonus bets instantly. That's code YANKS only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Boone in good mood. Off day on his wife's birthday.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Out in the city.
No travel.
Yeah, not bad. Trevino in there against Heel tonight. And Birdie in there.
Against Verlander.
Against Trevino in there for Heel. Birdie as well. So Oswaldo and Wellesley not getting the start. I'm going to guess they're just doing that. Volpe at short, Glaber at second, Rizzo at first.
Yeah, it was, we debated if we should bring up the Volpe leadoff spot, but I think that was going to be the same rigmarole this week. I think if there's another week, you got to start thinking a little differently. But they just swept the Tigers. And, yeah, I was surprised. I think sometimes we overthink the Yankees. Verlander this year is getting hit by righties and not by lefties. So with the other pitchers, Arrighetti and Blanco coming up with more traditional splits, they saw this as the Trevino day and the Birdie day. So, I don't know. I was kind of laughing in my head a little bit because I was like, is Justin Verlander going to see this and laugh? Hey, I'm Justin Verlander. I can still get righties out. But maybe they're pressing the right button because the splits are significant early. Verlander righties are hitting with an 808 OPS and lefties with a 571 OPS.
And last year, Boone said they go back. Last year they were there as well. 708 OPS for righties and 584 for lefties.
Sure.
410 slugging. Righties last year and 320. They got to Verlander their last start, right? I think Martian debut start, right?
Yeah, that has to be the last time they
Judge
faced
and Stan also homered against Verlander, I think. So take that, old man.
Take that, old man. 6 innings, 6 earned. Sure.
In your face.
Do it again. The big reveal of that bantering with Boone was that Hal is the team's weather guy. Which
the leagues, basically.
Yeah. That's kind of a big flex.
Is Hal way more involved than anyone knows? Because that's
just in the funky stuff. When he said Hal's the weather guy, everything processed instantly for me. Yes. That's part of the perk of Hal being on his boat. More weather on a boat.
Pilot.
In
the sky.
What can he do?
I don't know. Speak proper Gaelic, probably. No, I don't think he has it in him. You give me enough tries, I'll find a word.
What else do we get there?
I don't know. They're playing well. He was surprised about the Arraez trade. Glaber's not going to play third base. Soto would play center field ahead of that. So
that was something.
Finally got that answer out of him.
That was something.
His face was really funny. Just what?
Judge game ball for getting ejected. Pretty good.
Yeah, that is funny.
Pretty good. Good dude stuff.
And it's not a big series, but it's a statement series.
Statement series. I'll take that.
It's a big deal.
Or no. Benchmark?
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Benchmark series. You said benchmark, I think. Or did you say statement? The brain?
I think I wanted statement. I think he said
benchmark.
It's something in between those two. Comment below every time.
What did he say?
They can just rewind and find out. Enough credence for you to be aha, it is a big deal. End the season.
Right. I mean, if you haven't been keeping up with the Astros, they have the worst record in the AL West. Angels lost last night, so they're a half game back. But they're 12-22.
So the lineup tonight, Volpe, Soto, Judge, Verdugo, Stanton, Rizzo, Glaber, Trevino, Birdie?
Yeah, they could do a day where they have Stanton in front of Verdugo, right? If they're trying to do the righty.
If they really think that makes a difference. But it also depends on their bullpen. Because don't they all have righty relievers in Houston?
It's everyone except Hader.
So I don't think they'd stack them then. It would be my guess. Right. And then Birdie has not batted. Oh yeah, they did Trevino Birdie 8-9 once, but they also did Birdie Trevino. So I don't know what they do there. Trevino's gonna have a huge game.
Birdie Trevino, hit and run.
I think Trevino probably throws one off the right field pole tonight.
Boone with the I don't know hit and run. Let your imagination run with it.
I mean,
that's wild. That's wild.
They never. I mean, you can. I've heard it be asked in the.
Wild.
I've heard that be asked in the post game. Who called for that? Was it actually a call?
No advantage.
And they will never ever say.
It's wild.
Sometimes I think it's because. No, I don't know why. I don't know why.
No.
Who can't hear that information? People are gonna go back and decode the signs?
I feel like it'd be
a
good thing to flex. Like,
go back
we called that.
I don't know. Yeah, they're gonna decode the signs.
I think it's because they didn't. I think it was a John Birdie straight steal. Trevi gave a panic swing and it worked out.
It's perfect if it did. Even then, just take credit for it.
Right.
Very odd. He also, whatever. Okay. One when he said like natural splits, that's why Trevino, or neutral splits, and then he was like actually reverse splits. He's like, oh, but neutral. It's reverse, but he doesn't believe in reverse splits, or he does, whatever.
Technically, reverse splits are splits.
For sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I think that Trevino hits one off the right field foul pole tonight.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. All Verlander, high fastball.
Qualms. No qualms.
Okay, cool. And everyone imagine the Verdugo curveball homer. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Write Boone some fan mail. Say, hey, I like your stuff on Talkin' Yanks. Send it to go to CPS, buy a postcard. Say, I like your stuff on Talkin' Yanks show, and mail it to the stadium. 161st Street. Go Yanks, telegrams.
Go Yankees.